What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Find Your Formula. And today we're looking at some of the most savage clips by the late, great Kevin Samuels. But before we do, let's bow our heads for a moment of silence. Disclaimer, nobody in this clip is wished any harm, and these videos are for comedic purposes only. Roll the clip.
If you're a woman over 27, it's time to sell. Yeah, 27, time to sell. If you're a woman over 30, it's time to mark this shit on 50% off. If you're over 35, it's time to put that shit on clearance. If you're at 40, it's time to put that shit at the outlet. If you're at 50, Salvation Army. I want to hear shit from you talking about you being broke. If you're not working in 60 hours minimum a week that you're getting paid for, turn off YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and get your ass out there. Go down there and work at McDonald's, Circle K, get you a job. I don't care about your pride. You can't be proud and broke at the same time. Go work, and then you take that money you make from your part-time job, invest some of it, invest most, and take half of it, invest it to your future. The other 50%, the other percentage, take some, have some fun, go buy your belt, then invest it in self-improvement. Get you a high income skill. Get you something that's going to give you high value skills that you can market on, that you can leverage on the marketplace. Whether you're working in corporate America or whether you're going to be doing your own entrepreneurial thing in the future. But men, if you're working, the harder you work, the luckier you get, the more exposure. What you got?
I don't want to be nobody's side chick because I want to be married. I'm out on my own. I've been holding it down on my own. It's hard because men, it's hard. I tried and tried. I'm 32 with no kids.
What's hard about it?
But men these days, it's difficult because they want their cake and eat it too.
So if I talk to all your exes and ask them how did they experience you, what do you think they'd say?
They're going to give good stuff out. They're going to say I have a little attitude and my mouth is slick, but that's about it.
That's about it?
Yeah. They gonna say good stuff. They gonna say I'm independent.
Who gives a shit about, no disrespect, man. Who gives a shit that you're a functioning adult? Nobody cares that you've been holding it down. That means you're taking care of yourself. But you say, they're gonna say you got an attitude and a slick mouth. And that's it? Why do you think, what makes women like you think that that's acceptable?
I speak my mind. If nothing don't feel right, then...
That's why you're alone. That's why you're alone.
It's hard. I don't want to be
alone. It's not hard. It's not hard. Acting right shouldn't be this hard. What do you do for a living?
I'm a bus operator. I work for the city, drive buses.
You just do what the fuck you want to in the bus? You just speed? You do whatever you want to do? Don't obey the traffic laws?
I do.
Okay, so you can act like right when the white man's money's on the line. See how that works, gentlemen? See how that works when her holding it down is jeopardized, that white paycheck is on the line, then all of a sudden these sassy, slick-mouthed women, they can show act right.
The thing that I like the most about this clip is that even though they're on two different sides of the fence about what they agree on and their kind of worldview, the conversation was still respectful. However, Mr. Samuels is absolutely right. When it comes down to that job, when it comes down to that paycheck, the same women that say, oh, I have an attitude, I got a slick mouth, or here's the new one, I have a big personality. All of that stuff goes out the window when the paycheck is on the line. All of that stuff goes out the window when the paycheck is on the line. When the money's on the line, they could act right, they could do right. But then they come home to their man and they talk to him crazy if they even got one. What does that show? That shows where the value lies. That's exactly what happened in the 1960s and 70s, where the black woman chose to take the paycheck and big daddy government over the man. And we still see that very, very prevalent in today's American society.
My boys, CIA is 80% of men. Confident, intelligent, and assertive. That's good if every man could get there. But second level, competitive, intriguing, and aggressive, that's what it takes to separate yourself from the pack. That means to just start waking up into being a leader, a power broker, an alpha male, as it were. But in order to be at the top of the top, you got to become the bad, bold, ambitious, and generous. So if you're not bold, what's the opposite of bold? It's timid. If you're not ambitious, you're lazy. And if you're not generous, you're selfish or cheap. TLC, motherfucker, you're TLC. Whew.
First of all, you're definitely a single woman because you got the single woman tell. That damn smoke detector.
Mm-hmm.
How do you live with that?
The way that I've been living with just being a single woman is
No. Specifically, the smoke detector that keeps chirping. How do
oh,
you live with that?
can you just elaborate more on like what do you mean by the smoke
It
detector?
it keeps going beep.
Like red
You,
flags? Are you
that smoke detector that's beeping in the background. There's a
oh.
smoke detector.
Um,
It beeps every 30 seconds and it goes beep.
I don't hear anything beeping. Did you just hear it again? Because I don't hear anything.
Wait for it. Told you guys that they don't hear it after a while. There it was.
I was once told that women lose their value after 30. It literally drops in half. I was 29 and I had 6 months before I turned 30. It was during a podcast with the late Kevin Samuels, and I argued with him. I got pissed off with him. I couldn't help but think about what my boyfriend at the time was thinking because he was a huge Kevin Samuels fan. Anyway, today happens to be my 31st birthday. That boyfriend and I broke up. I got over a year of therapy, started doing music, started doing my own nails, taught myself how to sew so I can better my swimsuit company, started my passion projects of giving back. Honestly, I don't know what value he was referring to. I'm pretty sure it was something about being in the dating marketplace or some bullshit. Let me tell y'all something. I don't give a fuck what y'all think about my value because I place value on myself. And for my fellow women out there who are younger than 30, older than 30, or being told that we exist solely to reproduce, fuck that. Your value is what you make it. I don't care how old I am. I care about how old I feel, how old I look, and how wise I'm becoming.
So the thing that needs to be clarified about this clip here is that when people are talking about value, they're not talking about your value as a human being, and they're not talking about your value as a person. What they're saying is your value as a dating option, a realistic dating option. The reason why the narrative is women, what you say past 30 are quote unquote expired, even though I don't necessarily believe that. But the reason why that's the narrative is because fertility issues tend to kick in after a certain age for women. In America, you have a lot of women that have gone through a lot because they've picked very bad men. And so now they have this guard up against every man, even though, you know, you picked the bad guys. So then now you actually meet a guy who actually loves you and actually wants you, but you don't necessarily like him. And men look at that as baggage, but some men look at that as baggage. And then some women look at that woman, treating that man as, oh, she has boundaries. Okay. So there's a lot of different things going on here. Just because you're over 30, it doesn't mean that you aren't a valuable person. But for the man that you want, if that man wants 6, 7, 8, 9 kids and you're 35, 36, 37, then yeah, the man that you want can get a woman who can give him that, who's 25, 26, 21, whatever the case may be. And that's the hard truth that a lot of women don't want to hear.
I would still like to have a family. I don't want to have a single.
You have a family. You have 3 children and you're a high school graduate.
Yes, sir.
And you've been reduced to staying at home with your children. And you came on asking questions about women. You don't need to be doing anything with women. You need to be a monk until you get your stuff together. That means some sort of profession. Because honestly, man, you're not living like a man. You're living like a woman. Effectively, you might as well be on government assistance.
Damn.
What's the most you ever made per hour?
19 an hour.
The average woman in this country black woman earns $37,000. Effectively, you're a woman.
Damn.
And I'm not joking, man. I'm not saying this to clown you, but I'm concerned that you came in talking about women and you got 3 mouths to feed. You can't make any more babies and you got to get someplace to where you're earning enough money because are you on state-run child support?
No, sir. I take care of my kids.
I don't think you understand. All they need to do to screw you up is one of those 2 women put you on child support. Taking care of them or not. It's a punitive measure. And then the government, the state watches everything. So my point is,
You don't need to worry about women. You need to get a profession or two and putting in 60 hours a week minimum.
Let's be realistic, Samuel. It's about value.
Yeah, your value is low.
Oh, wow.
Guys, you need to pay close attention to her job history. Her job history is her dating history. In particular, you need to ask yourself how she ends her relationships. If you are dealing with a woman who is conflict avoidant, run. Zero ability to handle stress, conflict, disagreement. In other words, the only time they are of any good is when everything is okay. Average man and average woman standing next to each other. You know what he has on you that you don't have on him?
Options.
Time.
Oh, time.
You got between the ages of 18 and 35, or between your first menstrual and 35 before you hit high-risk pregnancy. After 35, you cross over to high-risk pregnancy. After 40, you cross over into really no man's land effectively. A man can be in his 60s and still, if he has the resources and the ability, he can still marry younger, even have kids. Doesn't matter what a lot of women say, well, them young women don't want you for whatever. Men don't care about all the things y'all think they care about. Men, we know you only want us for resources anyway, so the fact that you got to spend resources to get a younger woman, yeah, welcome to manhood. So what a lot of sisters need to recalibrate is stop looking at this as though we're your equals.
He's 100% correct. Gentlemen, you have time to get your stuff together, but you have to be putting in the work to get it together. You can't be focusing on things that don't matter. Things like, oh, did this girl text me back? Or, oh, this girl is posting on her story, but she hasn't looked at mine. You have to be paying more attention to what you have going on in your life as opposed to what she has going on in hers. And the reason why I can speak on this, how I'm speaking on it, is because I've done it. Every single mistake that this guy talks about, everything that he goes over in his content, I have done it, and I have seen and suffered the consequences of doing it. If you don't focus now, while you're young, while you have the health, while you have the strength, you're going to be older and you're going to be on your deathbed regretting it. And now you're out of time because you can't fix it. And time is the one thing that you can't get more of. A chick can get a BBL,
average man and average woman standing next to
surgery, and get a little bit
of
what
points
he has
back
on
you
the scale.
That you don't have on him
in rare forms, right? Once you turn 21,
time.
You will never be 20 years old again.
You got between the ages of 18 and 35, or between.
You a dancer?
Yes, I'm a dancer. Thank you. I just think I'm overqualified. I got all the traits.
You got all the traits to find a 1% man?
Yes. One like you. I just been beating on you.
What are your traits?
I'm pretty. I'm loyal. I'm paid. I'm in school. I got a nice car. I got a nice apartment. I'm smart. Did I say that? Every man that I come across just sees me as a come up. And
Hey, come
so
up?
and so I'm just not really focused on a man right now. But I'm just wondering, I don't know.
Hold on. If you're overqualified for a 1% man, that's a man who's $500,000 or more. But they don't tend to go to clubs to find a woman.
I agree with you. I'm not going to find my 1% at the club, so I need to get out more, but I just don't know where to go.
But you got to be honest with yourself. 1% men don't tend to marry dancers.
Right.
A man who makes $100,000, $300,000 a year, that's good money. But for my specific life goals, at 24, with plenty of options
Plenty of options for what?
For dating.
And that means, man, the way you're talking is like you say you got a lot of options, but not for the kind and caliber man you're talking about, not that kind of money. God damn. You may have a lot of options for dudes making, average money, but not for no man talking about $300,000-$400,000 a year. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not here in Atlanta.
Well, like I said, for my life goals, a man who makes $100,000, $300,000 a year, that's cool. That's good money. But that's not enough money for me to say, I'm stopping what I'm doing and only your cares matter. What I want to do for my family, what my goals are.
This is a single woman. This is a dead woman walking. The thing is, you're going to have to do all that because your attitude, your masculine energy is going to make sure you got to take care of yourself because the man who has more money or what you're talking about won't even deal with you.
I am celibate. I've been celibate for 2 years.
What?
I've been celibate for 2 years.
Where'd that come from? 2 people that came out of you. What you talking about? What's the philosophy here? You're not a virgin. You got 2 people came out of you. What's going on?
Oh, no, you did not.
Oh, no, you did not.
And I'm going to tell you the reason behind that is because when I do open my legs, the men they get crazy.
What you mean?
Do you want me to be blunt for you?
I want you to keep it classy, but you trying to say they get pee-whipped?
Yes.
So let me get this right. So you meet a man that's a high-value man. I think you're going to be celibate for what? What, till you married?
Yes.
You got your goddamn mind. I wish I would meet a 37-year-old with 2 kids and think you don't. Shit. I'm making light of it because it is crazy. You're almost 40 years old with 2 kids talking about celibate. So when I said if you attracted a higher value man, you think you're going to make him wait until marriage?
Sweetheart, I'm going to tell you like this. My cookies is worth the wait.
Well, first off, check that, sweet. No, your cookies ain't worth the wait because you ain't made nobody wait. You got 2 kids without a marriage. So you a virgin on your wedding night?
I was not.
Name me the product that gains value with age and use.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you're going to tell me.
Yeah, nothing.
God damn. Now, this right here is a classic example of what a lot of modern women do wrong. They think that now I have these boundaries, now I have these children, I need a high value man to step up to do X, Y, and Z. That all sounds great on paper. Sounds great on paper. However, when you go to actually put it into practice, what ends up happening is you're giving the better man a worse deal. You're saying, hey, when I was 20, 21, 22, I let 2 bums, 2 whoever's, 2 nobodies shoot the club up. But now that I'm 37, I'm older, my body ain't what it used to be back then. My mindset ain't what it used to be back then. I'm not who I used to be back then. But you're a better man than those 2 jokers were. But now since I'm older and I've gone through all this, I'm gonna need you to marry me first before you get with these other 2 guys who are less qualified, by the way, to get what they got. You are more qualified as a man, but yet you're having to pay more to get less. And that's where a lot of modern women mess up. They think that, okay, now since all of this has happened, I'm going to make the next guy pay for it. And obviously they want to shoot up. They don't want let's say they get with a guy who's a 3, they don't want the next guy to be a 2. They want a 4, at least 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Everyone wants a 10, right? Or everybody wants a 10. But that's the mistake, and that's the issue, and that's the biggest problem. You can't go out like that. It's going to mess you up every single time.
So women can tell I'm not getting no play?
462 people in the chat room could tell you ain't getting no play. That's the energy you're getting because you're a guy that said you don't think you should have to approach women. They should give you choosing signals. Where would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
5'10". How much do you weigh?
I weigh about
2 what?
Depending on the day, between 280 to 285.
So you're a fat fucker.
Yeah.
So you think a 5'10", almost 300-pound dude, how much money you make?
Like 400 every 2 weeks.
So you make 400 every 2 weeks. So you make 800 a month. You make less than $10,000 a year. Okay.
But how many 20-year-olds was him?
Hold on. Dude, I was a 20-year-old and I was making far more money than that. In the 80s, where minimum wage was $3.35 an hour. So I need to hear it. You got a big dick?
I mean, it's above average. I ain't know Ron Jeremy.
No. I asked you if you had a big dick. I didn't say it was above average.
I don't know what that is, really.
Nigga, you know if you got a big dick or not. Stop the bullshit. Every dude know whether or not he got a big dick. I know I got a big dick. You don't know?
I mean,
you don't have a big dick. That's the point. You don't have a big dick. You don't have a big wallet. You a fat dude. And you got a lot of nerve thinking you should get choosing signals at 5'10" and 300 pounds, making less than $1,000 a month at 20 years old. And women should approach you. What they get, they don't even get a big dick.
He didn't have to cook that last guy like that. He did him absolutely foul and absolutely filthy. But he was right, though. If you're 20 years old, fat, broke, you don't need to be worrying about women. You need to be worrying about getting a 6-pack and getting your money up. And that's 110% facts. Congratulations, guys. You all have made it to the end of the video. Guys, if you are liking the content, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And the best way to help out the YouTube algorithm is to click on another one of the videos you see popping up on the screen right now. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.